Okay, so let's see. Today, I just want to say uh, welcome everyone. I wanted to read a little bit. Project Hessdalen is a citizen science initiative built on a simple idea. This mystery should be explored openly by us all, even if there's a disclosure day. Um, we don't see that as the end. We see it as the beginning of a deeper independent research. We use Hessdalen as our lab, but our vision is global. What we test here, camera, sensors, tools, methods, should work anywhere. And what others discover around the world can be tested in Hessdalen. So this is an open collaborative effort, and we need people. And you can contribute with your time, your support as a member, helping us deploy more equipment, cover larger areas, and collect better data. We're a nonprofit, so everything goes back into research. Just wanted to say that very quickly. And also, before I give the word to our Swedish guests in Hessdalen, please remember that on the top you have these buttons. So it's not only our website, but there's also like this cup with the heart is where you can become a member or donate. You have our Discord server where there are good activity, and don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. And then we have both a YouTube channel and YouTube Live, and then we have members. And of course, some of you, Jean, I know, have already signed up for the field trip in August, September. Okay, that's basically it. I think I would like to give the word and get some few words from you in Hessdalen. Uh, and I will stop this sharing and have a focus on you. Let me see. How do I
Okay.
do that? Yes. So how are you
Hello.
doing? Hi.
Yes, I
Fine.
fine, thank you.
Lovely view.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful evening.
Yeah.
And the
The
sun
view.
is
Yeah.
setting.
This is the
Oh,
view.
nice.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, so we're at Rögne Mountain. Yeah, and we made it halfway because it was a lot of snow. Uh, so above knee we had to walk some parts.
Oh, wow. Do you have
Yeah.
skis with you?
No.
No. No. I I was told that
No.
one of you is from Lund University. Can I get a few comments about that?
Yes.
Yes. Hi.
Well, thanks for having us. Uh, yeah, and well, Ion and myself, my name is Anders. We live in southern Sweden, close to Lund, and I work at Lund University. And we met, Ion and I we met quite recently, actually,
Mhm.
last year, and realized that we had this common interest. But we had been living in around the same village for, I think, since 2009.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we didn't know, but now we found each other,
Mm.
which is great.
Yeah.
And
We went to the Soul conference together.
yeah,
Yeah.
in Baveno, that was together, yeah,
Oh.
with Thomas.
Mm.
Mm.
Right.
At the university. Mm.
Yes, I have yeah, a project at Lund University, which is quite recently started. And
Yep.
can I share the screen?
You brought your computer all the way up on the mountain.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
We want to share, but I can't find
The share icon is in the
Där.
middle
Där.
down there, and you choose either full screen or a
Yes.
window.
Uh,
Där.
yes, okay.
Mm.
Well, so we will try this. Okay, do you see something there?
Not yet. I think you have to click on the share after. It's first you choose which one, and then you click share at the bottom.
Huh.
So you choose either
Uh,
tab, window. or the entire screen?
Yeah, we did.
And then there's
Or
this,
let's try it again.
yeah. And then there's once you click what you want to share,
Then
there's a share button at the bottom.
Vi tar slutet, provar vi skrivbordet.
jag har slutat dela. Funkar den inte?
Are you
Den.
are you in Firefox or
kolla.
something like that?
Yes.
So maybe there's a question up on
Is it a
the.
trouble? Maybe
Maybe you get the question if you have to install something actually, or because Sean was
Something
just
else.
doing
maybe
this.
Should we use this?
we can reconnect with
Hold on.
Explorer maybe.
Or
We'll just.
Oh.
At home. Ja.
Ska vi det?
Ja, vi provar det.
Ja.
Fast det var inte
Så.
det som strulade, utan det är att vi är på Firefox-mötet.
Du vill gå in i den andra?
Ja, precis. Så om du tar... Om du håller... Okay, so come back in a minute.
Yeah, okay. Because I think you have to install something. I'm normally using
Yeah, this
Chrome
one.
myself,
Yeah, okay.
so I don't know if that makes it easier, but okay. So then we lost them. While waiting, let me share a little bit my entire screen because that's what I like. No, not this time. While waiting, I just want to comment on a request from Michael Bolander, geologist wanted. I recommend that people sign up to his newsletter. I don't know if it is a newsletter, but he is sending out a lot of information. It's quite valuable and interesting. So if anybody knows a geologist, then contact him. I also want to say it's a good time for interesting movies now. We've had Age of Disclosure. I haven't seen, but I really want to see this Moment of Contact with the Vagina incident. And now we have the S4 and soon the Disclosure Day. So I just wanted to say this. So basically today, oh, there you are back again. Nice. How is the sharing working this time? And you're muted, by the way, this time. We still muted. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So how is that working now?
Let's try it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yay!
All right, look at that. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, then we will
All right,
listen.
yes. So, yeah, so we have this project at Lund University, and the Pufendorf Institute. Do you want it in English or Swedish?
In English.
English, perhaps?
Yes.
Let's see.
Well, it's English. Enough. Oh no, it's
How do I?
it says English website on the top here.
Yes, very strange. Where is the?
But you can just explain on the top.
Just explain. Yeah, it doesn't help.
It doesn't help. Just
Seems
explain
like
it. Just explain it.
Yep. So so the Pufendorf Institute, it's an interdisciplinary institute at Lund University where you can apply for projects that cut across at least 3 different faculties or research areas. And so that's what we have done. We have what is called an advanced study group. And there are about 6 advanced study groups at the moment, and 3 new started the 1st of January. And then there are also something else, larger projects, which are called themes, teman, where you can get 20% of your time paid by the university to research on a particular topic. And the thing with the Pufendorf Institute is that they support new research areas and new research topics and research questions. So they don't support established research themes or projects, but really support researchers from different disciplines to come together to solve a new problem from a scientific point of view. And so this is our project, which is an advanced study group. So we're doing this for 1 year now. And we've had 3 meetings so far. Yeah, we have a little problem. It seems like we can't interact with the screen.
Oh,
that's little
that's
odd.
strange.
I'll try this then. Meet.
Testa. Funkar det där?
Okay, sorry. Switch screen. Because I did the test before with my own presentation. Switch
Yeah.
control tab.
Yeah. Are you sharing the screen only, or
No, we try to share another way then.
the easiest is normally to share the entire screen,
Dela.
or
Yes. Just det. Så är det ju hela skärmen. Ja, så gör vi.
because then whatever you see, then that's what we see.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
I will try it.
Okay.
Yes.
What is it that we see?
Now we see the entire screen. So don't get confused when you see too many things. Yeah.
Okay, what do you see? Okay, you see this now. Okay.
Yes.
Great. But do you see yourselves as well? Okay.
We do, but you can move it down a little bit.
That's okay. You can move down. All right. So now we're in. Yes. So we have this 1 year project now. We have members here. We have 9 members at the moment. So coordinating together with Melina. She is from theoretical philosophy. Jessica Abbott. She's from evolutionary biology. David Dunier is from knowledge, science, and history. Rika Sandén is from innovation. I am also from innovation and design. Alexandra, she's from cognitive sciences and semiotics. Aboma is from the Faculty of Medicine. Brian Thorsbro, he is an astrophysicist and astronomer. And Trond, he is a computer scientist. So we have quite a spread in this group. We would like to have people from the School of Aviation. We have a School of Aviation as well at Lund University. But we haven't been able to recruit them yet. We have been in contact with them. They are very interested in understanding what's flying in the airspace, but they don't have the opportunity to join at the moment. So we'll see what happens going forward. So with this project, we want to take a scientific approach to understanding the UAP or UFO phenomenon. And there are some things that we have decided that we will look at. indication how human perception influences what we see, observe, and report. Also, how the research around UAP has been stigmatized and prevented since a long time. And as we all know, there are scientists and researchers at universities in academia who are looking at it. But I think that now we have a situation where more and more are opening up, and I think our project here shows that universities, they want to support this as well and are open to it actually. And that's almost the most important thing, I think, with our project. Like, it's great that we are able to get 9 researchers together on this topic. Most of them don't really know a lot about UFOs, but they are very interested in the phenomenon and want to contribute to understanding it. But the most important thing is that we have a university platform now, which is a formal platform that we can use to go forward, and that's very important. And also, we want to develop rigorous methods to study the phenomena that we're seeing. And of course, since we are different disciplines, we will look from our disciplinary perspectives, and we are hoping that our different points of view will help us to discover perhaps new ways of looking at it or understanding what's going on. And we've had quite a bit of interest from different people and different organizations. Media has been very interested, and this is actually the first project at the Pufendorf Institute that they have had, which has had so much interest even before we started. So we've also had a lot of contacts from other researchers, both at the university and elsewhere, who have contacted us. They see that we do this at Lund University and they want to contribute. And then a lot of interest from the general public. Also, people who are actually developing their own systems to catalog and do data crunching on UFO databases. So there's been quite a bit of interest, which has been really nice. The Swedish television news reports, for example, and newspapers and so on.
Not the biggest programs, though.
Rapport has been.
Okay.
Yeah, Rapport. It's been on Rapport. Right. So what we're doing now is that we are developing a way, like when we come together, this group, people have different ideas about what could this be, and what we're trying to establish now to start with is, like we do in all research, first we try to establish what is actually the state of the art, what do we know, and what can we agree upon in terms of what is the evidence, what are good cases, what can we sort of together in the group agree upon that is a baseline for where we can start the analysis. And I think now, when we have done 3 different meetings over a period of 2 months, people are starting to realize that it is not only people who are hallucinating or pilots who see things wrongly. You know what I mean? It is actually a real phenomenon, and that's where we want to start, because that's where it gets interested, of course. So we are now developing a way to look at it. We are looking at formulating a quite sharp hypothesis that we then can try with our different disciplinary perspectives, try to falsify, which means that if we cannot falsify it, then the hypothesis is true, and the sharper and more interesting we make the hypothesis, the more impact it will have in terms of just establishing the fact that this is actually a real phenomenon, and it has some very interesting properties that we cannot explain with current technology or physics, for example, current science. So that's where we are now. And next time we'll meet next week and try to develop this hypothesis to continue to work on. Last time we had a visit by DINUS, Danish Network for UAP Studies. Fredrik Uldahl, and after next time we will be visited by Kevin Knuth at Albany University, and they also have a small group there working with the UAPX, which is now hosted by University of Albany. And then we will have more visits by other researchers from Swedish and other universities going forward. So yeah, that's a short, I think, summary of what we're doing. And so we're at the point where we'll now actually try to define what is it that we will actually study. Because the field is so broad that, you could start almost anywhere, but we have to agree on something that actually makes a difference at the end of the year.
This is super interesting. Super interesting. I would like to connect you with Håkon Fyn that you will find on the speakers list for the conference that we're holding in August. He is Håkon Fyn is at the university in Trondheim. Yes. And another speaker at the same conference is actually Francisco. And I can just show you that in a very quick. Let me see. Conference. So we have Francisco is from university in Portugal.
Yep, I've met him. We met
him. You met him?
Met him at Sol.
Oh, yes. I didn't see you. I was there too. Rainer was there too. Yes.
Oh.
And Håkon Fyn. So he is actually also applying for some money and see if he can start up a research. So
fantastic.
I think that would be interesting.
That's very good.
Yeah, I love everything you said, and it sounds like we could even apply from. Is it only Swedish projects?
Well, we can find some other money, but the Pufendorf funding only goes to researchers at Lund University.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's what they're supporting, but of course we should look for other money.
Yeah. We are. It's difficult to find. Maybe there are some questions for you. I guess you are getting cold. I'm suggesting that you follow as long as you want, but I am recording. So if you prefer to listen to the rest after, you're welcome to do that. That's why I started with you, because sitting there in the cold, I thought that would be too long. But maybe there are some questions. If you have any questions around, please use that hand at the bottom. Let's see. Oh, one, Rainer.
I just wanted to say I'm really impressed, and I will write an email later. Really nice group you have assembled. Really great.
Yeah, I hope we can talk more, because this is very interesting. Our focus is mostly on the physical, like we want to have the cameras and the instruments, and we want it all over the valley. That's our main goal. Jon Carter.
I just want to chime in and say I'm going to be sending you guys an email as well, and I look forward to seeing everything you guys accomplished. Thank you guys so much for doing what you've done. And Fred, thanks for inviting me today. This is amazing.
Yeah. It's kind of unexpected what happened today, so that's very nice. Very nice. Let me see. Erling, you also had a question.
Yes, just a comment that first of all, a very good group in Lund. That's very perfect. But you are in Hessdal now, and
Yes.
you should get the opportunity to visit our blue box. Have you been there?
No.
No, not yet.
Okay, but someone should be able, I think, to show you the place. Don't you think so, Fred?
Yeah, I think so. If Björn is not available, then let's see if there's somebody else in the area. Maybe Jan, or I don't know if Hank is there right now, but please, you are only there for a few days, right?
Yeah, only for this night and
Yeah,
tomorrow.
tomorrow night, and we're leaving on Friday morning.
Yeah, so
Oh,
tomorrow
okay.
then.
Yeah, and
Tomorrow.
maybe it's not so easy to reach the blue box now because of the snow. So maybe that is not a good idea.
Yeah.
But if we, I can ask Björn because you know him already, and I think he has
we
to.
met
Yeah,
him. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Sean.
Okay, just congratulations for all your work. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. And as a response to that, yes, we're very happy. Actually, we were certainly not sure that they would approve the topic, but they did, and they are very excited about it, and they are very pleased that we get a lot of attention because it's good for the Pufendorf Institute as well. So they really support us in a nice way. So yeah.
And you have to send many people from Sweden to come to the conference and the field trip if you want to. When you get further in, you will see this very nice UFO cabin. You are on the UFO camp. That is like the primitive. But if you get all the way into Slättala, as it's called, there is this beautiful UFO cabin. You can also see it. You are actually looking at my screen now, so I can actually go to the field trip, field work, and this is the cabin.
Wow.
Yes. So during the field trip week, we have rented this for at least half the week. So we are hoping to have a lot of interesting discussions, not only go out and do stuff in the nature, in the trip, putting out equipment and doing experiments, but we are hoping to have a lot of interesting discussions in this cabin. So this is just to see if we get some Swedish people to sign up. That's all.
Nice.
Yes.
Is it close to where we are now, or?
Yes. You continue. Let me see. Do I have that on the map here? Oh, field trip. Yes, here is a map. And this is the UFO camp. And you continue. And this is where Björn was. I don't know if you went to his farm. And you continue. Yeah, you continue. I think there's a toll you have to pay to get past something. And then you get to Slättala. And this is where this cabin is. And you should take all the trip down to Öjungen. And so if you do that, you will pass by this cabin as you saw here.
Okay.
Yes. So that's it.
It wouldn't surprise me if the road is closed in the wintertime still. Normally it's open early June or late May, maybe. But I'm quite sure the road is closed because of the snow.
Yeah,
So if you want to go there now, you have to rent a snowmobile or something.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's a bit okay.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of snow here.
Yeah. Okay. Once again, you have to come back in August then. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have any other questions? No, I think not. So let me see. Then we have, yeah. Thank you very much. If you want to listen in, you're welcome. But as I said, I wanted to take you first because sitting there in the cold could be kind of difficult. So you are welcome. I will upload this just after we have finished. So maybe 20 minutes after, you can see the whole thing if you prefer to do that. Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
If you want
Okay.
to. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have
Just
a nice
thank
rest
you.
of the meeting.
Bye-bye. Thanks for
Bye
joining.
bye.
Bye.
Okay. So now we have to choose. I have put up Daniel Norvik and then Jeff. Is Jeff here? Not yet. And then Sean. Daniel, do you want to go first, or should I let Sean go first with his?
No, I can just go through. I don't
You-
think I will be here the entire meeting. I got some sick children that needs
Oh.
attention as well.
Then
So
you go
I think
first.
I just run through and I'll sit here as long as I have the time for.
Okay.
I'm on my new cell phone, so I haven't found the button actually to push on the camera here. So
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm working, so maybe you see me in a couple of minutes as well. I'll try
Okay.
to share.
You're on. Maybe I could find your presentation because you
Yeah,
did
maybe you
send
can
it.
do that as well, and I can just tell you.
Where is that
when-
again? Where is that again? Let me see. Daniel, you sent it. Yes.
Yeah, and to
Yeah,
all
I
of
have
you
it.
to all of you listening in, I haven't translated the presentation, so it is in Norwegian, but I'll run through it in English, and it's a
Yeah.
work in progress to get it in translated to English as well, and it
Yeah.
will be done, and will be sent out to everyone attending here.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Do I know how to do this slide by slide? I don't
What are
know.
you in?
I am in.
Acrobat Reader.
I am in Adobe.
Yeah, the Acrobat Reader. You should just try to open it locally.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I will download it. Yes. And then I will move it to the disk. 1 second. Drive. And let me see. Here it is. Okay. Uploading, yes. And let me see if I can find it on my disk. Drive. This.
There it is.
Yeah, it goes to. I hate that.
Just go straight back. Yeah, maybe you could just zoom in a little bit then.
Yeah. Maybe I can open with preview. Let me see how that works.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks
Okay.
better though.
A little bit better. Let me see. I can do it like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try.
Okay, I'll start. First of all, hi, and thank you all for the time. Just a little overview first. Reports of unusual lights in Østmarka, that's a national forest near Oslo, are not new in any sense. There are references to this type of phenomenon going quite far back, mostly through oral accounts, local stories, and descriptions that don't use modern terminology, but still point to light appearing in forest and marsh environments all over the place. In older contexts, these kind of lights were often interpreted differently, sometimes as natural spirits, sometimes as warnings, or simply as unexplained occurrences tied to specific locations. For me, what's interesting is that many of these descriptions are tied to the same type of environments we still see today. for example, marshlands, still water, and low-lying forest areas. So even if the interpretation has changed over time, the location and conditions seems to remain consistent. So for me personally, this started with a direct observation around 9 years ago. It stood out because it didn't behave like anything I could easily explain at the time, not in terms of movement, intensity, or context in that matter. So what followed was not an immediate project, but more of a gradual process. More gradually processed. So I started looking into whether similar observations had been made, first locally and then more broadly. So that's when I came across the work done in Hessdalen, which was the first time I saw this type of phenomenon approached in a more structured and grounded way. So what really drew me in was not just the phenomenon itself, but like the gap between how often it is described and how little it actually measured. So there seems to be a lot of observations, but very little structured data. And that is essentially what motivated this project. Yeah, not to explain what it is, but to see if it can be approached in a more consistent and measurable way. So slide 1 there. You can just go back up to yeah. So what I'm presenting here is essentially an attempt to bring structure to something that is usually described in a very fragmented way. So most accounts of these lights phenomena are based on individual observation, often without context or follow-up. So the intention with this work is not to explain what the phenomenon is, but to take a step back and ask, is there a way to observe this in a more consistent and measurable way? Okay, we can go to the slide 2. Background. Reports of lights phenomena like I go back quite a long time, as I mentioned, mostly through oral accounts and scattered observation. What makes this interesting is that similar descriptions appear in other parts of Norway, and then, of course, especially in Hessdalen. The difference is that Hessdalen has been studied over time using instruments and structured observations, while Østmarka remains largely undocumented in that sense. So the starting point for this project was just, as I said, was simply to ask, can we apply a similar mindset here, even on a smaller scale? Yeah, you can move to the next slide, the summary. So yeah. In simple terms, the project is about moving from qualitative observation to quantitative data. So instead of focusing on the lights themselves, the focus is on measuring the environment around them. So that includes microclimate conditions, electromagnetic variations, and of course, optical signals where possible. The assumption is that if the phenomena is real and repeatable, it should leave some kind of measurable footprint in the surrounding conditions as well. You can move to the next slide. Definition and research problem. So the phenomenon is defined here as a low attitude light occurring in forest and marsh environment. But defining it visually is not enough. So because the descriptions vary so much all over the place. The real challenge is the methodological. So how do you study something that appears rarely, has no clear trigger, and is difficult to reproduce? Without imposing assumptions, I would say the only viable approach is to focus on measurable variables and testable hypothesis. Yeah, I'm sorry about the English here. I'll get the words correctly eventually. So you can move on to the next slide as well, the local context. So when looking at local observations, certain patterns start to appear. The phenomenon is often associated with low-lying terrain, marsh or wet ground, boglands, areas with limited airflow, and nighttime conditions, of course. These are not unique conditions in themselves, but they form a consistent context. So rather than asking, where has it happened, I focus more on where would it be most likely to happen based on the environment. So we can go on to the next slide. more global context with a Hessdalen connection. So when comparing this to other locations, Hessdalen becomes particularly relevant. So it has been studied for decades and shows that long-term observations is possible. Instrumentation can capture useful data, and patterns may exist even without a clear explanation. So what stands out is that many of the environmental conditions overlap here. So stable air, humidity, terrain that traps air masses, and so on. So even though Østmarka and Hessdalen are geographically different, they may function similarly in terms of local atmospheric behavior as well. So next slide, hypothesis. So based on all of this, the approach is built around three simple hypotheses. One, that the phenomenon is linked to a specific microclimatic conditions. Number two, that it may correlate with electromagnetic variation. We can go into that a little later, but I don't expect a lot of electromagnetic variation involved there, and I can explain a little bit more on that later. And third, and that perception may play a role under certain conditions. So the key point is not whether these are correct, but that they can be tested and rejected if necessary. Slide 8, you can change. So here it gets interesting. So this slide compares typical conditions with those observed during potential events. So what we see is the shift towards lower wind, higher humidity, stronger temperature inversion, and more stable atmospheric pressure. These conditions suggest a kind of environmental stability window, if I can use that word. In such conditions, small local effects are less likely to dissipate and may become more noticeable. So this aligns well with other observations from Hessdalen, as I've seen, where stable atmospheric conditions are often present during events. Since real observation is still limited and difficult to capture consistently, I worked with simulated data sets as a way to define what a potential event might look like in measurable terms. So the purpose of this is not to predict the phenomenon, but to create a reference framework, essentially to understand what kind of signal we will be looking for in the data if something does actually occur. So without that, everything else just looks like noise. So instead of waiting for the perfect data, the idea is to ask if a real event happens, what would we expect to see across different sensors? So me and Reiner, we were out in Østmarka and out in the field and placed some loggers around to get a baseline on fixed positions. So we're well on our way with that type of research there. So the table on the right is a simplified representation of how different variables might behave under two conditions. So one, normal baseline conditions, and two, and a potential event window. And that's, for example, wind speed is typically lower during observed conditions, which indicates a more stable air mass. Another example is that humidity tends to be higher, which may affect how particles behave in the air or how light is scattered or sustained. Third example could be temperature gradients, especially inversion layers are stronger, meaning that the air is more stratified and less mixed. And we may see small increases or fluctuations in electromagnetic measurements, which could indicate local disturbances, although this is still, for me, very, very uncertain. So none of these changes are extreme on their own, but the key idea is that they occur together with the same time window. So important point here is that what we're really looking for is not a single strong signal, but a pattern, a combination of small deviation that align in time. That is what separates a potential event from a normal environmental variation. So if I'm going to bring that a little bit more back to the method used here, this will also help define thresholds. Instead of reacting to every fluctuation, we can start to say that this combinations of conditions is worth looking at more closely. And over time, if similar patterns repeat, that becomes something we can test more rigorously. So this slide is less about the phenomenon itself and more about building a way to recognize it. So if and when it appears in the data. So we can change the slide to the next one. So that's the baseline versus event. So to simplify this further, observation seems to occur when the environment is more stable than usual. So this doesn't explain the phenomenon, but it suggests that it's not random at all. So instead, it may depend on specific combinations of environmental factors that only occur under certain conditions. So you can now change to slide 10. So the measurement setup. The measurement setup is designed to capture these conditions continuously. So we are logging temperature, pressure, humidity, magnetic field, and such. And that's also the ultimate goal here. And where possible, also optical data. So the key element is synchronization, so that all data points can be aligned in time and compared directly. You can change to slide 11. Yeah, and there we go. There you have the simulated data set. So since real events are rare, simulated data sets are used to understand the expected patterns, as I said. So for us, this helps answer that key questions is if something happens, what would it look like in the data? As I mentioned, you can change to slide 12. So yeah, here we look at how different variables evolve over time. So the important aspect is not individual values, but how they change together. So if multiple variables shift within the same time frame, that becomes something we can analyze and compare across observations. Slide 13. So analysis. So the analysis focuses on identifying deviations from the baseline, that as I mentioned, comparing across multiple events, and of course, testing for correlation. The goal is not to confirm a theory in that sense, but to gradually reduce uncertainty by eliminating possibilities. You can change to slide 14. So to do so, I recognize several limitations. One is that observations are quite rare. Environmental variables are complex and long-term data is required. So in a sad sense, that means that the progress is slow and conclusions must be made really carefully. I think that's something we all need to be aware of when we're going out there. You can change to slide 15. Of course, why this matters. The value of this work lies in creating structure. Even the phenomenon itself remains unexplained. Understanding the conditions under which it appears can guide us further research. So it also has a broader relevance in terms of sensor systems, environmental monitoring, and detection of weak signals in that sense. And I think we can also expand that finding a proof of these lights will also prove so much more than that is just some lights. We will really stir up the history context of from ancient beliefs to modern beliefs as well. So it could be it could matters, yeah. It could truly be a sad thing for anyone, but a celebration day for us. So we can change to slide 16. At this stage, that's the collaboration, and as the same as you guys in Hessdalen, I'll invite everyone to participate in this, and especially I need input on instrumentation, data interpretation, and how do you say experimental design. So the goal is to refine the approach and make it more robust over time. So now the presentation is done, but one final thing, and one idea that I've been exploring, which is not part of the slides itself, is whether this might not be a purely local phenomenon. So instead, it could be linked to a type of environment that repeats across regions. So what I've been thinking of as a kind of belt of conditions in many ways. So Östmarka and Hessdalen are very different geographically, but they share several of the same micro environmental characteristics. So the question becomes whether we are seeing an isolated phenomena or the same type of phenomena appearing under similar environmental conditions. So I'm planning to, or I'm working on making a high relief map where we add in the points and we visualize the belt of conditions over the Nordics, where also people can zoom in and read informations about the sightings that have been documented. So we can get an overview of all the sightings, and maybe that would help us to narrow it down to a more specific area for research. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time.
And thank you very much. You get a lot of applause here on the screen, so very good. And you have now been added as a project member, so you were like suggesting we should work together. And now we have on the list here at the bottom, I think we will find Daniel, and you can use this as a page and put some more information if you want to. I will send you that after. But
I will do that. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. Because this is what we try to do. We try to connect people and learn from you. See if we can use that in Hessdalen. What we learn there, use that other places. So very interesting. Yes, you did say that you want to go to your kids, but do you have a few minutes to answer if there are any questions?
Yeah.
Yes. Sean.
Okay, so congratulations. We are doing practically the same thing. So it's very good to see that I am not alone in doing that kind of research. So.
Oh, that's nice, Sean. And I'm looking forward to speaking more with you. And I'm eager to hear what you have found out and your thoughts about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll connect myself up to you after this meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. I will send you the emails.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yes. John, you have a question.
Hey, wow, Fred, this is uncanny. Like the amount of interest in the focal point of this conversation and the lights is just blown my mind away. Are you sharing this this data publicly that you're collecting, Daniel, out of curiosity?
Yeah, most of it are publicly, and most of it are own research. For example, when I hear a story about a light appearing in the forest, I'll take the timestamp it and I check the environmental conditions when that timestamp was made, and that is done using available informations via, for example, satellites.
Excellent. And then you mentioned that locally at the location you're studying, you guys have placed loggers?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, just 2 loggers to try out. Rainer was so kind to come to Oslo, and I felt like James Bond when he was there and gave me the gear and the disclosed the location. So I truly appreciate that, Rainer. So I'm eager to see what those measurements have been showing us, especially as we got one night here with almost perfect conditions. So I'm truly eager to see what that showed us.
Oh, that's excellent so much. Your English was fine throughout the presentation. Everything came across fine.
Thanks.
For the North American people watching, I'm sure you'll be fine. Absolutely. I'd love to reach out to you as well. I'm researching some signal patterns. You mentioned some signal patterns and structures. I love that you're trying to take a uniformed approach, measuring the temperature, the humidity, the wind speed, all the conditions that are measurable. I think that's one of the most important things, is looking at measurable data. And I really want to connect furthermore, and I'm going to reach out to you if that's okay. But
Yeah.
I know you have to get to
No,
your kids.
I'll be really happy about it. And I do have a lot of time, so it's just now until my wife gets home that I need to be a little
Well, thank
father
you
as
so
well.
much for taking time. Your presentation was beautiful, brother.
Thank you, John. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. I'm just showing my my little OpenADS cloud site because I'm hoping that either we can use this site to say you will find data there, so it's like a link to where the data is, or we can use our Google Disk to share data. So because we have a lot of available data, and it would be nice if we are able to find ways to store data and analyze it. But that's just so you find this as the OpenADS link up here. Okay. Very nice. Thank you. Sean, you've been waiting and waiting. Are you ready to share your screen? Yes. Yes.
Okay, you see everything?
Wait. Yes. I will.
Okay, so I start an observation project in Quebec, but it is not as elaborated as SZN. In fact, we will see why in a few minutes. So the idea for the Earth lights, what we call UFO and UAP, consists on several phenomena, I think. It's not just one phenomena, there are many, all being unidentified. So I decided to concentrate to this one, Earth lights, because it seems slightly easier to get quantitative data. So I give two examples of luminous phenomena that were that were ignored and then accepted by the scientific community. These are the state phenomenon and the transient luminous events, the sprites. So once they get quantitative measurement and good picture, these were accepted. So in my case, this is Earth light. So I give the example here for the TLE. Pilots reported them from decades, but it was just in 1989 when a NASA camera photographed sprites that the phenomenon was accepted. So before 1989, these were UAP.
Mm-hmm.
And they were controversial, the same thing as for UAP today. But after 1989, they are accepted. And now that we know how to observe them, you can select a place where distant from thunderstorm, place a camera, and you can photograph the sprites. So for the Earth lights, I compile from the reports, some from Quebec and some from elsewhere in the world. I will talk first for the sphere phenomenon. So that starts from a golf ball to several meters. And when the size is several meters, that may be an ovoid that looks like a flying saucer. The color highly variable, white, green, blue, almost everything, but white is most frequent. White or yellowish light is the more frequent color. The sphere may be translucent or opaque, and when it's translucent, people report something internal, some smaller sphere inside. They call that an eye. So these spheres may last for a few seconds to several tens of minutes. They can be observed in daylight. They float in the air and move. Sometimes several spheres move in a line. They follow each other. Also, some people report intelligent behavior. For example, if there is an obstacle, a cliff or a rock, it will avoid it. But ball lightning have also reported doing avoiding obstacles. So we can have small spheres that merge in one bigger one, or a big one that divide into smaller ones. These spheres can appear or disappear spontaneously, or disappear and reappear further away. They can also emerge from the ground. So in the example I will show after, I will give some example of some cases showing these characteristics. When they disappear, they three ways. Either they explode in place with or without spark. Sometimes the explosion is very weak, just a small puff. Either they contract or disappear suddenly or slowly. So we have an opaque sphere that become translucent and then they disappear. For ball lightning, exactly the same thing for that. Sometimes the sphere form by inflating from a tip of a branch and fall to the ground and roll. And also a lot, similarly to ball lightning, they can penetrate inside a building by passing through a window or any small opening, for example, under a door. They can also appear in a closed space. We have also other luminous phenomena, solid beams, luminous column, a fuzzy luminous shape without particular characteristic, and lightning and clear weather. The column may glide across the ground, leaving a trail. In rare cases, the column may be opaque or black, but in that cases, one may be very careful of dust devil that look very similar. Before people report the phenomenon, the witness sometimes know that the air seems to be charged with electricity. Also, this was a report by Persinger and Paul Devreux. The electromagnetic radiation may provoke loss of consciousness, missing time, hallucination. But this is more controversial today. This was popular in the early 90s, but we no longer talk about this today. But the most important characteristic is the recurrence point. The manifestation can repeat themselves, sometimes daily, over a period ranging from a few days to several months or even years on a remote geographical area. This characteristic allows for controlled observation with instruments. Okay, for the explanation, is ionization, plasma ball. This hypothesis we put forward for ball lightning. So the energy source will be from a stress accumulated in the Earth crust at that location, but this has been criticized because of lack of evidence. So only repeat instrumental observation with spectral analysis, measurement of electric and magnetic fields. Also, if there are unknown radio frequency that are detected, that will help to understand what caused the phenomenon. So there are being a few books, such as Paul Debreu, on the subject. Okay, in Quebec, we have a lot of earthquake, not big ones such as California or Western Canada, but quite significant. For example, we had the magnitude 4 earthquake yesterday. It was in that area here. So the Quebec is favorable to that kind of phenomenon. Here I do a distinction between earthquake lights and earth lights. Technically, there is no accept distinction, but following Paul Debreu definition and the literature, for this project, I decided to distinguish the two. So an earthquake light will occur before, during, or just after an earthquake. And the interval between the date and time and the earthquake should be short. And also the distance between the location and the epicenter must be the closest as possible. Currently, it is difficult to have a rigorous definition because there are still uncertainties about this phenomenon. For an earth light, it's an unexplained luminous phenomenon that occurs in an area having a seismic activity, but not necessarily associated with a given earthquake. So it will occur in an area with earthquakes, such as the map I shown before, but they will be clustered in time and space. So we have several reports in a limited area in a short period of time. A long-time recurrence is desired, but not essential. The appearance of the various luminous phenomena is described in the previous pages. Okay, so here, if you look at the literature and the discussion, there is still a controversy because we miss good measurements and good photos, good videos. So the TLE, the Sprite, and Steve are not accepted because we have a lot of good pictures and a lot of good measurements, and we know how to observe them. For Earth lights, we still need good observational data. Therefore, the current project. So everything is fine now?
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there are a few examples of sightings. Here is the map. As you can see, they are dispersed over a large area. For example, a distance between Montreal and Ottawa is about 200 kilometers, and Montreal in Quebec is 240 kilometers. So we see that these places are clusters. It may last for a few days and a few months.
There is a question from Erling. Do you? I can see there's a question from Erling. Do you want to answer it now or after?
Yes. Okay, I press on the
Yes.
Yes.
Just a short question.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your presentation. This include much of the same thing we have observed in Hessdalen. The question is, how long period of time has this been going on, and is it still going on, and how intense, how often does it happen?
In fact, it's very random. I am waiting for a sighting or some historical sightings, but now I have never not heard of sightings since 2017. But it's very dependent of people. We don't have an observation system, an instrumental system, because the sightings are too much dispersed. So what I described here is from 1968, the Black Lake, to 2015, Saint-Justin and Saint-Adolphe d'Howard. Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
I see that even Daniel has a question. I know that you are not finished, but do you want to take another question?
Okay, yes. I click on the green.
Yeah, no, he can just talk.
No, I can wait if you're not finished.
No, another finish.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I can wait.
Okay.
Okay, the first sighting, they are not in chronological order except the two last one. So that's the place. You have saw it in the map. So it's southern Quebec. So for this one, there was 8 sightings that occurred between July 24 and 30, 1976. The majority at Brunette Beach. So Brunette Beach is here. Three observations of luminous phenomena at a short distance. The other are farther away. For the 3 cases, 2 observations of a green beam crossing a room, appearance of solid emerald light pipe. For that study, for example sighting, I select one that was at close range because very distant light in the sky, one that come from general public, there's a lot of possibility of observational error. So I concentrate the example for short range sightings. Okay, this unexplained light, also unexplained lighting in the clear sky in July 30, followed by the 4 short power outage of 2 minutes. There was a weak earthquake, magnitude 3, in Valleyfield on July 13, night of the 12th to the 13th. So this is what we observe. There may be earthquake in the same area, but not linked closely, such as earthquake lights. Yeah, also, if you want to search a similar phenomenon in the earthquake light literature, during the Kobe earthquake in 1985, a blue ovoid luminous shape appeared inside the house. So like the green beam, sometimes it is reported that a luminous phenomenon can appear in a closed space. So here is the original description in French of one of the sightings. Here is a translation. So from the bedroom, a couple observed a strange scene during the night. A very dense carpet of white light covered the floor of their car and friends, the parking. This carpet measured 3 by 5 meters and flowed 60 centimeters above the asphalt inside it two pair of grayish legs were visible. These legs were then replaced by two intense balls of light. These two balls, 20 centimeters in diameter, float in place. They lower slightly and merge to one another. In doing so, the two balls double in size and intensity. The witnesses were frightened. They were chilled. They fell asleep within minutes. The man was deeply impressed. So here is the drawing. So there was no clear outline, everything like a plasma. They said that it was leg, but it was mostly a ghostly appearance, but seen at very short distance. The other example is the lightning. So the lightning appeared in a tree without any power lines, and there was a power outage of 2 minutes. The witness was Mark Kudik was the one who was there. He looked at the top of the tree, and there was a flash of light. So here I've searched if the luminous carpet was described somewhere else. In William Corliss, they explain how strange luminous phenomena. This is a compendium. And yes, he has defined a category for that. So that shows that the Sabre-Voie luminous carpet is not unique. But the difference is that the catalog phenomenon is observed during a thunderstorm, and there was no thunderstorm at Saint-Anne-de-Sabre-Voie. So we have a description. There were the like strip of light that was moving on the ground. So that's about the Sabre-Voie sightings. Okay, the second example is the Letuc region in 1988. That was north of the town in this area. The witness have a country home, and during until summer, they observed luminous blue orbs in the forest. So in this case, there was translucent sphere with an internal purple color structure like an eye. Something about light inside the chalet, but it come from the inside, but they don't know exactly where that light come. So the sphere entered inside the chalet like some ball lightning. They were very frightened. So the witness just looked at this and did nothing. It was also distance of observation. There was a lake, some kind of light. This is perhaps not less sure, but this was part of their report. And according to the witnesses, the phenomenon occurred more during auroras. So there was more ball of light when there was an aurora. I did not investigate that case myself. It was somebody else, a group. But investigator at the time, even there were a lot of sightings, they didn't even think of doing sky watching at this place. So they clearly missed an opportunity. Unfortunately, that occurs frequently. They said, we have a job, okay, we cannot go stay on another place for weeks. So they go once and they write their report, and that was over. The witnesses took photos, but we see nothing conclusive because this was a camera automatic without any manual settings. film camera, not digital. So when it was dark, the flash triggered, but we cannot do manual adjustment. Okay, if we look at the description of the sphere, they are similar to the FG2 in the classification of ball lightning made by Raymond Piccoli of the French Lightning Research Laboratory. So this one, in 2014 at the JPAN, there was a presentation about the UFOs, but Raymond Piccoli did a presentation about ball lightning at that place. So he present how the categories of ball lightning, and what the witness observed is this one but reverse. So blue like this at the periphery, and violet at the center. The contrary of this one. Okay, so what they observed looked very similar to ball lightning, but there was no thunderstorm. It seemed that the summer lights are the same plasma than ball lightning, but produced with a different energy source. Here is the map for the earthquakes at the same time. So there were earthquakes, none at the place where the witness observed the phenomenon, but in the same area. Third example, this one I go myself on the field, Lake Sainte Marie. In this case, unfortunately, the witnesses did not remember the date. It was a late 1980s, early 2000. 3 sightings in the same week, the last one more than 10 years later. All the sightings were done during daytime, afternoon, and it was a sunny day. For the first 3 observations, the sphere formed by inflating at the tip of a branch fell to the ground and rolled. The sphere disintegrated. In the 2 cases, there was no contact with water. When the sphere did not roll to the water, it exploded, but not very loud, just bursting with sparks. One rolled in the water and hit a pedal boat, and the witness listened an impact noise and the green luminous column during the last case. So this is a map I did for these sightings. The first with the pedal boat is number 1. The one that fell on the ground is number 2. Number 3, because it was much farther, is not there, but it was the same behavior as number 2. Fell to the ground and exploded with spark. Number 4 is the luminous column. So the first sighting is exactly like that. That's the right tree because I was there. The ball formed by inflating, detached, and fell to the ground and rolled into just the lake. For this one, everything is on scale because the witness clearly indicated me where each sphere occurred. So this is the lake where the ball rolled and hit the boat. There was no boat here. The second sighting, same thing. it inflated on the branch, fell to the ground, and burst a crackling sound. Unfortunately, I was on the place more than 10 years after the event, so I could not check if everything, if the soil was burned or something like that. The fourth sighting, so the witness tell that shape emerged from the ground very slowly, and was the way it emerged reminded her, because she's a woman, the same way as an old computer that can we do the array of fill function. It was the way it filled and hand with a tip. After 1 minute, everything disappeared suddenly. You know? Okay, here I give other place in the world where a similar phenomena was observed. So I gave SZN here. This one is Tagish Lake. One the example, the formalin, this is that. This one is at the limit. It may be an earthquake light because at the same time there was a 6.2 earthquake at that location at Cross Sound, Alaska. Okay, this is a French comic book about UFOs. There is a sighting in that in Roumaniac in France of a phenomena that looks like Earth lights. But the main witness claimed several years later that he spent 1 year in alien base between China and Tibet. So just a reminder that we have to be careful with human testimony. We don't know if the story is true. That may cast doubt on the initial sighting, but there were several witnesses at that time. So what they observe, ball of light, quite big, near the ground, and one time, ball of light that follow a line. Okay, if you go back to Quebec, was several luminous orb, August 22, at Black Lake in the Eastern Township. So for this case, there was more than 25 luminous orbs were observed infesting the river and patrolling. That was the same term used in the newspaper. Near the asbestos mine, there were often seen formation. Some of the orbs appear to rebound the observer flashlight signals. One of the objects rushed toward the observer when they shone the flashlight, and the engine of last one car stalled. Provincial police investigated. So from the witness, they saw several balls of light floating around the river. So I go to the site, and the area of large asbestos mine now closed. And the rocks, there is a rock called Sampered Tainite. It's a metamorphic rock that from olivine during pressure and water. The rock transformed into serpentinite and then asbestos. At that time, several 100 million years ago, there was two tectonic plate and they come together, closing off on each other. It was the Iapetus Ocean, so a very long time ago. This was a large fault, like the one we find in the Western Canada or Japan or a place like that. So the project is very simple. Search for you have to search for observation of recurring phenomena described above, and for that I have to wait until people report sighting similar to those described above. So I go to their place and stay at the place, and after first take a good picture and a video is the phenomenon occur. After measuring the magnetic and electromagnetic field, I will use also a Geiger counter to check if there is radiation, because some theories said that ball lightning may produce X-rays, so just as a extra care to check if there is no ionizing radiation produced by the phenomenon. This is for close range sighting. If the light is several kilometers away, it will not be a significant measurement. After that, a spectrum analysis using a diffusion grating. So with multiple cameras, because one camera will take a good picture of the phenomenon, and the other one with the diffusion grating mount on it will take the spectrum. And in this project, I put emphasis observing the phenomenon at very close range, because if the light is very distant, sometimes it is difficult to see if it is unexplained or not. So the goal is to get tangible evidence, because Earth light are still controversial. So if the preliminary is successful, a more comprehensive observation project will be implemented, similar to the one in Esdalen. And I have contact in geology and atmospheric physics for guidance after. So that this was the old photo equipment I have at that time, a 5D Mark II Canon camera. Now upgraded to a Sony A7S III. With I have a set of lenses. I have two lenses that open to only 0.95. With the Sony A7S III, I can take very low intensity luminous phenomena. For example, I take videos of the Milky Way, Andromeda Galaxy, and this could replace night vision, with the advantage that the video are in color. There are the two simple instruments. Just to check if there's something abnormal at the same time. And if they're successful, the next instrument will be a wideband radio receiver and spectrum analyzers to see if there are abnormal RF emission, because it is more expensive equipment, so it will for a later stage. Also, because I did a presentation also for general people, is what to avoid in the field. I will go faster here. Because sometimes people say, we saw something unexplained, and it was their flash. When you use a flash at night, the reflection can cause mistakes. Here a dust particle. Another dust particle when you use an high ISO, are we with a flash? When we don't use a flash, there is nothing particular. In 2015, there was hot reports, a report just made in a few days before I go to the field at Saint-Adolphe d'Howard, a sighting, people report seeing a luminous fluorescent green and red shape, like a snaking around the ground. This phenomenon, this luminous phenomenon that didn't have a delimited shape. It was blurry. Well, there was a MUFON investigator, but because there was another sighting at May 7, but I checked with Stellarium. Unfortunately, this was the moon, but the investigator did not accept my explanation. He said, no, I will not work with you. You are too skeptical. So the first observation was there. This is exactly, it was there. I take the picture exactly at the witness location. So the luminous shape was at the ground in that place. Last a few minutes, then disappeared. And the vegetation, it was 3 weeks after the event. There was nothing particular. So the distance between the witness and the phenomenon was 17.5 meters. At Saint-Justin, the same thing, but I said to the witness, we should start observing every day. He asked her why, because that kind of phenomenon is recurring. He said, no, I don't believe that. And the person refused. So, okay, so her sighting, she saw one sphere emerging from the ground, then bursting with sparks, and after, they said it was some rectangular shape. They start from here, follow near the ground. At that second location, start rotating, and another sphere appeared, burst with sparks, and after there was a sulfur odor. So that's how it was very long, very complex. So now, if there are questions, we'll answer to Daniel now.
Yeah, I'm still here. So I just want to pick your brains a little bit and see what you think about it. But you mentioned something with interaction with surfaces by that Lake Saint Marie or something like that. So when the fares fall and roll along the ground or into water, to me they seem to behave almost like a physical object. So how do you interpret that kind of interaction? Do you think this suggests a contained energy structure or something more material in nature, for example? What's your thought?
I think contained energy, because there are ball lightning that bounce I have seen a report of ball lightning that bounced into a bus and rolled to the ground and explode in spark.
All right. Okay.
So
So
very interesting that a plasma may behave like a solid object.
yeah,
Because if we can reproduce this, we solve one part of nuclear fusion very easily. That means it will be no longer be necessary to have a big structure like the ITER accelerator at Cadarache. If you can confine a plasma as solid as this, that would be amazing.
yeah, it would. So the formation you described, where the sphere appears to inflate at the tip of a branch, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly, it's also very specific. So have you seen similar formation behavior in other cases or heard about them? Do you, for example, interpret that as a localized discharge process or something forming from the surrounding air? I heard you mention ball lightning as well, but do you think do you think that's the type of behavior ball lightning also would be expected to do?
Some people and the book, William Collins' book, there was ball lightning that formed in a tree and fall to the ground, but they was not saying they was inflating.
All right. Okay.
But I noticed at that place, you got a very lot of vegetal dust.
Yeah.
If you touch at these branch, there was dust. There is dust of organic material that stay on our hand. So perhaps the inflating has something to do with this.
Yeah. And one final question. You mentioned something earlier in the presentation about radio frequency signals. So we mentioned unknown radio frequencies being detected. So how consistent are those signals across different observations? Do they tend to appear within the same time window or as optical events or more independently?
To be honest, this has never been reported. It's something that in a forum someone should suggest, because artificial plasma are generated using radio frequencies. Perhaps there are some unknown phenomenon that produce naturally radio frequency. That is an indication that this is something that we have to test on the field.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the answer. Yeah.
Yes. This is
It was
something that
really interesting listening in on. Yeah. So I appreciate that, Sean. And I unfortunately have to leave everyone now. So I appreciate your time. So you should just go on, and I'll catch you at the next meeting. And Sean and John, you will receive an email from me either this evening or tomorrow. And let's connect.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. And John has a question too.
Oh, thank you very much. Jean, I love your presentation so much. It was beautifully done. I could tell you spent a lot of time putting a lot of research into this. You mentioned when you were on your trip, you took a photo of a placard and it showed the tectonic plates.
Yes.
You also mentioned a date range that you had concluded that basically is showing us that there's lights being reported all over. Did you, out of curiosity, look at whether or not there was any kind of movement further under the ground at the tectonic level, as far as maybe being able to centralize it around those dates? Out of curiosity.
No, because we have so many small earthquakes. We have one about every 3 days in Quebec. Very small one, the magnitude 2, 1. From yesterday, it was a magnitude 4. So there are always some kind of seismic activity.
I love I love the
If you look at
project you put together. Do you plan on continuing to post and gather the information and putting it out there as available publicly?
yes.
Do you have a website that you can share with everyone?
Yes. So right now there is nothing more that is in the presentation.
I would love to make an area for you on the
Okay.
on the Hessdalen site, so you can
Yes.
put it there and make it available to researchers everywhere.
Thanks so much, John.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fred.
Okay.
Well, what I would like to comment is that I made note here of that this allows for controlled observation. I love that. It is possible to do the observation, not only follow the witness, but also do observation. And this is the same thing that Daniel is talking about. It's very infrequent. So that's what I'm really looking for, is if we are able to create some kind of a small equipment that we can put out and get observations. But one comment when it comes to witness observations, I think you said something that there's no good reporting system. And I was thinking about this, that maybe we behave different now. Maybe now where somebody sees something and they will just put a post in their Facebook group or something like that, and it's not that easy to find out what people have been reporting, because there's so much spam or so much whatever. But before, when people reported, maybe they would call the local newspaper and you would find it there. So we really have to work on how to get the good reporting system. And I do know there are some attempts to do that. And I think that even MUFON, who has been doing this for years and years, have a new system coming out. I'm looking forward to that. But yes, are there any other questions to Sean?
I will make a comment before.
Yeah.
On observation, I'm a member of Quebec UFO organization, and people report the sightings on our site. But unfortunately, 99% of sightings can be easily explainable as planets.
Yeah.
In fact, on the site, the last sighting at maybe Earth-light date from 2015. But the Saint-Justin one, and I discovered the preview, the Saint-Adolphe d'Arvor one by myself.
Maybe I can show you. Let me see.
Okay, I will close.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I will just ask you. Maybe you have seen this this picture about a ball going up the hillside. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. I wonder, do you think this is Earth light or something like that?
Yeah, I saw the video yesterday.
Yeah.
And I saw the Massimo Teodonari presentation on this.
Yeah, okay.
That's very possible. What I think first, I check that could not be a bird, because at the beginning it's much more bright than the snow. It starts to be as bright as our home lights and decay when it moves.
Let me see. I think we have. Try it here.
This one, yes.
Yes. Where is it?
I watched it yesterday on the TV, 4K TV, and
yeah. I don't know where it is right now, but this is my own little reconstruction of a scooter in the area, because Some people say maybe it's a scooter, but if you look at the light when it's a scooter, it's very, very different because it will show up and whatever. But later on here, I have the light itself, and it's very, very different in behavior, and it's like yeah. But anyway,
because the light is continuous. A scooter will be hidden periodically by the trees.
Yeah, it comes and goes, and you can see it kind of moving like this as it's driving. Yeah. Okay.
No, this one is very interesting. The only point that it is small on the image, so
yes.
That shows how difficult studying this phenomenon is. Because the sprite and Steve are very large in the sky, so there is no possibility of mistake. So when we take an Earth light, we take a video, it is very far away. It is very difficult to be sure 100%.
Yeah. So
video quite interesting.
Yeah, I think so. What is good is that we do have these two camera, and actually now we have a third one, and soon we will have 3 more cameras, and we're not quite sure how to set them up and where to use them, but yes, still need a lot more camera and other equipment.
One possibility, because the light appear to form in a tree.
Yeah.
Well, it would be possible to check one day before and one day after to see if there's not.
Yeah, I think the scooter was actually the daughter of Björn, who is a member, and she went up to see if she could find anything in that area. But as you saw, kind of the arc that it was taking, the first part of it, it's very clear, like going up and going like this in a very clear path, and then continue further up. So you could not see anything in the area. She could not see anything when she was on the scooter. Yeah. I'm so happy about the presentations we've had today. It's so very nice. I'm not going to take much more time. You get a lot of virtual clapping. So thank you so much. I hope you will show up in other meetings too. We have started with like project meetings now, because we've decided that we're going to have some LiDAR project, and Tanya is working on that. That could be something for next year's field trip. Tom André is working on his mobile surveillance system that you can, and you also find this on the website. And we have some other new projects. And the thing is, as long as we are working on this on a volunteer basis, it takes a bit of time, but we never give up. We just continue. So it's good to hear that you are also a retired, because I think retired people are a good resource. So yes, I want to go to one more page, and just to remind you, not this one, but this one actually. I am working on a project that is getting almost done. It is a system that I'm going to use for signing up on events. So I'm going to use it for the conference, but I added a new feature called the funnel. So that's a structured process for turning many raw ideas into a well-defined, achievable project. Because we have 40 projects listed in Project Hessdalen, but it's very difficult to kind of go through them and evaluate them. So, and I want to have this site, and I will send it out where you can go and submit your idea. And let me just go to this one, because the whole point is that if you add an idea, then let me just show you now, mobile surveillance system, and it's telling me that I misspelled it. Surveillance system, one that can be put out anywhere and work for and operate for at a week at a time. Now I'm going to go to a site here, because we have this as a, let me see, here it is on this Bluebox Mini, and we have this, not on the, yes, this is the one I'm talking about, so I'm going to give a link to it. So I will also add the website here. And I'm showing you this just because I put in this one now, and now I can say, like, how is this something that we should do? Does this belong here? Relevance. But more important is that I can change the language. So people that want to join in giving good ideas, they can do it in their language. And I can read it in my language. So when I'm ready with this, we can of course add more information. And I'm hoping that people will help me and say this, we could do this, we should do that. But as you see here now, I have a whole long list of languages, and it will translate automatically. Italiano, even not even sure what it is. Thai, I guess. No, Portuguese, and we have so many languages. But I do want people to join in and be able to kind of go through this discussion. So this is the system that I've been working with, because at the end of it, you will go through like this one. If I give it a percentage of, and then the next one will be like, do we think we can do it? And then I give a priority. And at the end of it, I end up on, let's go to a language I can understand. Let's go back to English. Then I go back to my list, and I will have all the IDs listed here. And at the end, we can find out that this is the one that we see that most people are interested in and is really relevant and high priority. And then we convert that into a project and continue. So, but the thing is that we have 40 on the list now, and I would like people to kind of go through them and say, because on your list, you will say, how relevant is this? Let's say this is 100%. And then you go to the next one, how can we do it? Feasibility, and you give it a percentage for that. And then you give priority. But then everyone will have to go through this for all the ideas. And then the funnel list will then be kind of the total of it all. Okay, that's it. I just wanted to show you that. And now I will basically turn off my presentation and say thank you. If there are, Rainer, do you think we should stop recording and then have a discussion after?
Yeah, if anybody wants still to stay here, please stay. Yeah, you can stop the recording, and whoever wants to stay and talk about anything, just stay here.
Okay, I stopped the recording.
Okay.